$300,000. Every bill earned with these hands over 45 years. I stood in my Phoenix study, staring at the cash in my safe, not knowing that in just 3 weeks my own children would steal every penny. My name's Robert Mitchell, 68 years old, retired construction worker. This morning I thought I had everything: money, family, security. But that anonymous email was about to change everything. You don't know who your children really are. I should have listened, because by Christmas Eve I'd discover my loving family had been planning my murder for 7 years. The morning light filtered through the floor-to-ceiling windows of my Phoenix home, catching the dust particles dancing in the air like tiny witnesses to what was about to unfold. I stood there, Robert Mitchell, 68 years old, staring at the safe in my study. $300,000 in cash, every bill earned with these calloused hands over 45 years in construction. Dad, you ready for your big day? David's voice startled me. My eldest son stood in the doorway, that same confident smile he'd worn since high school. 42 years old now, successful investment banker, or so his business cards claimed. Strange how he'd arrived 2 hours early. David was never early for anything. Just checking something, son. I closed the safe, spinning the lock. Didn't expect you until dinner. Wanted to make sure everything's perfect for your 68th. He walked in, his eyes briefly scanning my desk where the financial papers lay scattered. Sarah and Michael are already on their way. First time we've all been together in what, 5 years? 5 years, 3 months, and 12 days to be exact. Not since Eleanor's funeral. Except Eleanor wasn't dead. She was 40 miles away in Peaceful Minds facility, her brilliant mind slowly being erased by Alzheimer's. $15,000 a month to keep that secret. $20,000 last month when she needed additional care. Dad? David's hand touched my shoulder. You okay? You seem distant. Fine, just your mother would have loved this. His face shifted, that practiced look of grief. Yeah, Mom always did love family gatherings. If only he knew his mother still breathed, still occasionally remembered his name in those rare lucid moments. But I'd made a promise. Let them remember her as she was. Brilliant, beautiful, whole. Not the hollow shell who'd forgotten her children's faces. My phone buzzed. An email notification. No sender name, just, you don't know who your children really are. Everything all right? David peered over my shoulder. I deleted it quickly. Spam, you know how it is. But my hands trembled slightly as I pocketed the phone. Somebody was watching. Somebody knew something. The doorbell rang. Sarah's signature 3 quick chimes. My daughter swept in wearing designer everything, her nervous energy filling the room like smoke. 39 years old. Divorced 2 years now, working in real estate. Or was it insurance? She changed careers like others changed coffee orders. Happy birthday, Daddy. Her hug felt desperate, clinging a second too long. There were shadows under her eyes that expensive concealer couldn't quite hide. Michael's parking. He brought someone. Someone. Business partner, he says. Her laugh sounded forced. You know Michael. I didn't, actually. My youngest son at 35 remained a mystery, drifting from one opportunity to another. Last year it was cryptocurrency. Before that, food trucks. Before that, I'd lost track. Michael entered without knocking, all nervous energy and darting eyes. His business partner turned out to be Vincent Zhao, a man whose handshake felt like a threat, and whose smile never reached his eyes. Mr. Mitchell. Vincent's voice carried an accent I couldn't place. Your son speaks highly of you. Says you're the wisest investor he knows. I wouldn't say investor. I just saved what I earned. 300,000 in cash. David interjected, then caught himself. I mean, you always taught us the value of liquid assets. How did he know the exact amount? Sarah's phone rang. She glanced at it, face paling. I need to take this. She hurried out to the patio, but through the glass I could see her arguing with someone, hands gesturing wildly. While she's handling that, David produced a leather folder. We wanted to talk to you about an opportunity. On my birthday? Actually, Dad, that's why we're all here. Michael fidgeted with his watch, a Rolex I didn't remember him owning. This can't wait. Vincent opened the folder, revealing glossy brochures, green tech solutions, revolutionary solar technology. The Department of Energy just approved our patent. We're offering exclusive early investment opportunities to select individuals. Select individuals, I repeated. Family and close associates only, David added quickly. The kind of opportunity that could triple your investment in 6 months. Sarah returned, eyes red. Sorry about that. What did I miss? We're just explaining green tech to Dad, Michael said, shooting her a look I couldn't interpret. Oh, the investment. Dad, this is incredible. David's been working on this for months. They all knew. This wasn't spontaneous. This was orchestrated. How much? I asked. The minimum buy-in is 200,000, Vincent said smoothly. But for maximum returns, we recommend the full 300,000 package. The exact amount in my safe. That's very specific, I said carefully. Dad, David leaned forward, his cologne overwhelming. When have I ever steered you wrong? This is about securing your legacy. Our legacy. Wouldn't Mom want us to take care of each other? There it was, the Eleanor card. My chest tightened. Sarah's phone buzzed again. She silenced it, but not before I saw the caller ID. Private, urgent. Michael kept checking the door, as if expecting someone. Vincent sat perfectly still, a predator waiting for the prey to make the wrong move. But I was 68 years old, alone except for the children now circling me like sharks who'd scented blood in the water. The email this morning echoed in my mind. You don't know who your children really are. Looking at their eager faces, their practiced smiles, their barely concealed desperation, I realized something that chilled me more than any winter Phoenix had ever seen. Maybe I never did. 3 days after my birthday, I signed the check. $300,000 to Green Tech Solutions. David assured me the paperwork would arrive within a week. Sarah hugged me with tears in her eyes, whispering how proud Mom would be. Michael actually showed up sober, shaking my hand like a real businessman. Vincent Zhao smiled as he took the check. That predator smile that should have warned me. Mr. Mitchell, you've just secured your family's future. If only I'd known which family he meant. 2 weeks passed in strange silence. No paperwork, no updates. David's phone went straight to voicemail. Sarah texted back one-word answers. Michael disappeared entirely, but I told myself they were busy. Successful children had demanding lives. Then Thursday morning, April 18th, everything changed with one phone call. Hello, Mr. Mitchell. This is Stanford Hospital Billing Department. We need to discuss your daughter Emily's outstanding balance. I nearly dropped my coffee. I'm sorry, you must have the wrong number. I don't have a daughter named Emily. Sir, you're listed as the emergency contact for Emily Chen. She gave us this number when she was treated here last month. Emily Chen, that woman at my birthday party. The one taking photos. My mind raced. There must be some mistake. Oh wait, I apologize. I'm looking at the wrong screen. This is regarding her residency program documentation. Please disregard this call. The line went dead, but the seed was planted. Emily Chen. Why did that name trigger something in my memory? I spent the morning on Google, then made some calls. Stanford Hospital, Stanford Medical School. Each call revealed another layer of lies, though I didn't understand the full picture yet. No, sir. We have no Emily Chen in our residency program. We did have an Emily Chen apply 5 years ago, but she was rejected. Forged transcripts. Forged transcripts. My hands shook as I dialed David. This time he answered. Dad, how's the investment going? Getting those sweet returns yet? His laugh sounded forced. David, who's Emily Chen? Silence. Then, I don't know what you're talking about. She was at my birthday party, taking photos. Oh, probably one of Sarah's friends. You know how she is with social media. Listen, Dad, I'm in a meeting. He hung up. My eldest son, who'd never hung up on me in 42 years, just cut me off like a telemarketer. I called Tom Bradley, a private investigator Marcus Chen had recommended years ago. Tom, I need you to look into someone. Emily Chen. Connected somehow to my children. Give me 48 hours, Robert. Those were the longest 2 days of my life. I didn't sleep. Barely ate. Kept checking my safe, counting the remaining cash I'd kept for emergencies, about 50,000. Thank God I hadn't given them everything. Eleanor needed me to visit, but I couldn't face her. How could I explain that our children, the babies she'd nursed, the kids she'd driven to soccer practice, the young adults she'd sent to college, how could I tell her what I was beginning to suspect? Tom called Saturday afternoon. Robert, you sitting down? Just tell me. Emily Chen is David's business partner. Has been for 3 years. They run a company called Phoenix Holdings together. Shell company, far as I can tell. And Robert, there's more. My chest tightened. Go on. Your 300,000? It was wired out of Green Tech's account within 4 hours of deposit. Distributed to 6 different accounts. 2 belonged to David, 2 to Sarah, 1 to Michael, and 1 to Vincent Zhao. The room spun. I gripped the desk. You're saying my children? I'm saying you need to check your bank statements, Robert. All of them. Going back at least 5 years. With trembling fingers, I logged into my online banking. Started pulling records. And there it was, hidden in plain sight. Small transfers I'd authorized over the years. 5,000 here for Sarah's medical emergency. 10,000 there for Michael's business opportunity. 20,000 for David's temporary cash flow problem. But the account numbers, Tom was right. They all led to Phoenix Holdings. 5 years. They'd been bleeding me for 5 years, ever since Eleanor got sick. My phone rang. Sarah, Daddy? I heard you called David about some woman? Are you feeling okay? You've been forgetting things lately. There it was. The gaslighting. Make me think I was losing my mind like Eleanor. I'm fine, Sarah. Never better. Maybe you should see a doctor. I could take you. I said I'm fine. She paused. Then sweetly, how's the investment doing? David says the returns should start showing soon. James, she'd said James. Like the business partner David mentioned at family dinners. James, who was always too busy to meet me. Sarah, who's James? What? I said David. No, you said James. Daddy, I'm really worried about you. These confusion episodes. I hung up. Then I did something I should have done weeks ago. I went back to the birthday party videos on my phone. Found the one Sarah had taken when she thought I wasn't looking. She'd been filming David in the corner, talking to that woman, Emily Chen. I turned the volume all the way up, held the phone to my ear, and heard it, David's voice, clear as day. 2 more years until the old man's 70. Power of attorney kicks in automatically, if we can prove mental decline. Emily, you did perfect tonight. He totally bought the Concerned Family Act. Emily's response chilled my blood. 300,000 is just the beginning. Once you have power of attorney, the house alone is worth 5 million. My house, the one I'd built with my own hands in 1979, now worth 5 million because Phoenix real estate had exploded. They weren't just stealing my money, they were planning to take everything. The chest pain started then, sharp, radiating down my left arm. Classic heart attack symptoms. I'd had enough construction buddies go down to recognize the signs. But as I reached for my phone to call 911, a different thought struck me. If I went to the hospital now, they'd call my emergency contacts. David, Sarah, Michael. They'd have their mental decline evidence. Poor Dad, the stress of imagining conspiracies caused a cardiac event. No, I called Marcus Chen instead. Marcus, I'm having chest pains. Pick me up, take me to Scottsdale General. And Marcus, don't let them call my kids. The next few hours blurred. EKG, blood tests, oxygen masks. Mild cardiac event, the doctor said. Stress-induced. Keep calm, take these pills, follow up with cardiology. But lying in that hospital bed, staring at the ceiling tiles, I wasn't thinking about my heart. I was thinking about the performance I'd need to give. Because at 7 p.m., right on cue, Emily Chen walked through my hospital door. Wait, not Emily Chen. She introduced herself as Emily Mitchell. My daughter, the one I'd never had. She sat beside my bed, tears streaming down her face. Oh, Daddy, I was so worried. The hospital called and said you'd had a heart attack. Thank God you're okay. This woman, this stranger who'd helped plan the theft of my life savings, sat there holding my hand like she'd done it 1,000 times before. Emily, I said carefully. Sweet of you to come. She squeezed my hand. Of course I came. What kind of daughter would I be if I didn't? What kind indeed. Behind her, David appeared in the doorway. Our eyes met. In that moment, I saw it. The flicker of panic. Did I know? How much had I figured out? I gave him my best confused old man smile. David and Emily, both my children here, Eleanor would be so happy. The relief that washed over his face told me everything. They still thought I was the fool. Good. Let them think that. Because tomorrow, the real game would begin. The morning after my heart episode, they came prepared. David arrived first, carrying a leather briefcase that looked more like a weapon than a business tool. Sarah followed with her practiced, worried daughter face, and Michael actually showed up on time, which should have been my first warning. But it was the fourth person who made my blood run cold. Emily Chen, or Emily Mitchell as she now called herself, walked in wearing a white coat with Dr. Emily Mitchell embroidered on it. Good morning, Dad, she said warmly, kissing my forehead like she'd done it 1,000 times. How are we feeling today? We, as if my body was community property. Tired, I said, playing the part. Confused about yesterday. David pulled a chair close, too close. That's what we need to talk about, Dad. Your confusion episodes are getting worse. What confusion episodes? Sarah touched my hand, her nails freshly manicured with my money, no doubt. Daddy, you called me 3 times yesterday, asking about Mom. You forgot she passed away 5 years ago. The lie came so easily to her. Eleanor was 40 miles away, probably having breakfast right now, wondering why I hadn't visited this week. I did, and the investment confusion, Michael added, reading from what looked like a script on his phone. You keep asking about green tech, even though we explained it's a long-term hold. Emily opened her medical bag. Where did she even get that? And pulled out official-looking documents. Mr. Mitchell as your physician. Since when are you my physician? She smiled patiently. For 3 years now, Dad. See, this is what we're talking about, these memory lapses. The gaslighting was so coordinated, so perfect, I almost admired it. Almost. David opened his briefcase. We've prepared something to help protect you. A temporary power of attorney. Just until you're feeling better. The document was thick, professional, probably cost them a fortune to have drawn up. Or maybe they'd forged that too, like Emily's medical credentials. It's very simple, Emily explained, her voice taking on that condescending doctor tone. David would handle major financial decisions just temporarily, while you recover from the cardiac event. What about my other children? Sarah and Michael exchanged glances. We're all here, Daddy, Sarah said carefully. All three of us, right. 3. I let my eyes go slightly unfocused. Sometimes I think there are 4. They relaxed visibly. The old man was losing it. Perfect. Emily pulled out glossy brochures next. We've also found a wonderful assisted living community. Desert Palms Senior Resort. They have a memory care unit that specializes in, I'm not going to a home. It's not a home, it's a community. David corrected, like vocabulary mattered when you were stealing someone's life. They have golf, swimming, activities. You'd love it. I flipped through the brochure. Private rooms started at $8,000 a month. The memory care unit, which is where they'd stick me, $12,000 minimum. My house sale would fund it for decades while they lived off the rest. I'll think about it. The doctor believes it would be best, Emily started. Which doctor? She blinked. I'm your doctor, right. You. I smiled vaguely. The one from Stanford. Something flickered in her eyes. Fear. But David covered quickly. Dad, you're tired. Why don't you rest? We'll handle everything. They left the power of attorney papers on my bedside table, Emily placing a pen conveniently next to them. So thoughtful. After they left, I waited 10 minutes, then called Marcus Chen. They want power of attorney, I told him. Don't sign anything, Robert. I'm sending someone over. That someone turned out to be Kate Harrison, an FBI agent who looked about 35, with eyes that missed nothing. She sat where David had been sitting, but her presence felt protective rather than predatory. Mr. Mitchell, we've been investigating Vincent Zhao for 2 years. Your case might be the break we need, but we need you to play along a little longer. Play along while they rob me blind? We'll protect your assets, but we need evidence of the conspiracy. Can you do that? I thought of Eleanor, needing care I soon wouldn't be able to afford. Do I have a choice? That afternoon, Frank from next door knocked on my door. 72 years old, Vietnam vet, sharp as a blade despite his age. Robert, we need to talk. That woman who claims to be your daughter? I heard her on a phone call in your backyard yesterday. My blood chilled. What did she say? Frank pulled out his phone, hit play on a voice recording. Emily's voice, clear as day. James, calm down. 6 more months and the whole $50 million is ours. The old man has no idea about the offshore accounts or the life insurance policies we took out. $50 million? Offshore accounts? Life insurance? Frank, I've never had $50 million in my life. He leaned closer. That's what you think. But what if Eleanor's family money never went to medical bills? What if it's been sitting somewhere, waiting? Eleanor's family. The Washingtons. Old San Francisco money. When her father died 10 years ago, we'd inherited. God, I couldn't even remember. David had handled it all. Said it went to taxes and Eleanor's care. Frank, can you record more if you hear anything? Already on it, buddy. That Emily woman staying at the Marriott downtown. Registered as Emily Chen, not Mitchell. Paying with a Phoenix Holdings corporate card. Phoenix Holdings, the shell company Tom had discovered. That evening, a Dr. Morrison visited my room. I'd never seen him before, but he acted like we were old friends. Robert, I've reviewed your cognitive tests from last month. What cognitive tests? He smiled patronizingly. The ones Dr. Mitchell administered. You show significant decline. Early-stage dementia. Possibly. I'm recommending a financial conservatorship for your protection. Who's paying you? His smile faltered. I'm sorry? Simple question. Who's paying for this consultation? Your insurance, of course. Which insurance? Medicare? My supplemental? Which one? He shuffled his papers. I'd have to check with billing. Get out. Mr. Mitchell, your hostility is another symptom. Get out. He left quickly, but I knew he'd be back. They'd document my hostility, my paranoia, my confusion, building their case file by file. Kate Harrison called that evening. Robert, we've discovered something. The $50 million Frank mentioned, it's real. Eleanor inherited $48 million from her father, put in a trust. The trustee is listed as David Mitchell. David's been managing $48 million of Eleanor's money, Managing might be generous, moving it offshore more likely. Robert, they're not just after your retirement fund, they're after everything. And based on the life insurance policies Emily mentioned, she didn't need to finish. Life insurance policies only paid out one way. How long do I have? Based on their timeline, they need you either dead or declared incompetent within 6 months. The trust has a provision. If Eleanor dies or is declared incompetent, and you're also incompetent or deceased, it transfers to the children. Eleanor, my Eleanor, sitting in that facility, mind fading, had $48 million she didn't even remember. Kate, what do I do? Tomorrow, pretend to sign the power of attorney. But first, we're going to make some changes to it. Can you get to Marcus Chen's office tonight? I would, because now I understood the real game. My children weren't just thieves, they were planning murder, and the only thing standing between them and $50 million was one confused old man who wasn't nearly as confused as they thought. That night at Marcus Chen's office changed everything. My lawyer sat across from me, modifying the power of attorney document with surgical precision, while Kate Harrison from the FBI watched. We're adding invisible conditions, Marcus explained, legally binding but easy to miss if they're not looking carefully. Any transfer over $10,000 requires secondary authorization from a trust I'm setting up tonight. Will they notice? Not if you sell the performance of a lifetime tomorrow, and that's exactly what I did. The next morning, I shuffled into my kitchen wearing mismatched slippers. David and Emily were already there. They'd made copies of my house key. The violation of it burned, but I kept my face blank, confused. "Morning, Dad," Emily said brightly. "We made breakfast." I stared at her for a long moment. "Do I know you?" The flash of triumph in her eyes was worth the charade. "I'm Emily, Dad, your daughter." "I don't have a daughter named Emily. I have Sarah." David moved closer. "Dad, Emily's been your daughter for 39 years. This is what we're worried about." I sat down heavily, letting my hands shake slightly as I reached for coffee. "I'm sorry, sometimes things get fuzzy. Which is why we need you to sign these papers," David said, sliding the power of attorney across the table. The modified version Marcus had delivered at dawn. "Just to protect you." I picked up the pen, then set it down. "What am I signing?" "Protection, Dad." "Financial protection." I signed it slowly, like my hand wasn't quite steady. "Robert L. Mitchell," in shaky letters. They didn't notice the extra documents Marcus had slipped into the stack, revocable conditions that would trigger the moment they tried to steal. "There we go," Emily said, kissing my forehead. "All taken care of." After they left, I made 2 phone calls. The first was to someone I hadn't spoken to in 15 years. "Sophia, it's Robert Mitchell." Sophia Reeves, formerly Sophia the Spider in hacker circles, now ran a legitimate cybersecurity firm. She owed me. I'd hired her son when no one else would, helped him turn his life around. "Mr. Mitchell, how can I help?" "I need you to track someone." Emily Chen also goes by Emily Mitchell. "Everything digital, emails, texts, financial transactions. Consider it done. Give me 72 hours. The second call was harder. 20 years of silence sat between us. "Marcus?" My younger brother's voice came through rough with emotion. "Bobby? Jesus Christ, is it really you? I need your help, Mark. After 20 years of nothing, you need help? It's about David and the grandkids you've never met. They're trying to kill me." Silence. Then, "I'm on the next flight from Seattle." That afternoon, I met Catherine at a small cafe downtown. The woman who'd been taking photos at my party looked different without the designer dress. Younger, sharper, dangerous. "Mr. Mitchell," she said, sliding into the booth across from me. "I'm Special Agent Catherine Walsh, FBI Financial Crimes Division. Kate Harrison said you wanted to talk. We've been investigating James Wong for 3 years. He launders money for the Sinaloa cartel through real estate and elderly care facilities." My blood went cold. "Elderly care facilities? Desert Palms, the place your children want to put you. James owns it through shell companies. Residents go in with assets, come out with nothing, or don't come out at all. And Emily? She's his girlfriend, not your daughter. They've run this con in Portland, Denver, and Austin. You're their biggest score yet. Because of Eleanor's trust." Catherine's eyes widened. "You know about the 50 million? 48 million. And I just found out yesterday. David's been hiding it for 10 years. Mr. Mitchell, we need your help. Wear a wire. Get them to admit the conspiracy. We can protect you." "I'll do it, but I have conditions." She pulled out a notepad. "Go ahead. First, Eleanor, my real wife, she's in Peaceful Minds facility. She needs protection. They might target her if they know I'm onto them." "Done." "Second, my son Michael, he's weak, not evil. Drug problems, gambling debts, he's being used. I want immunity for him if he cooperates." I'll have to check with the prosecutor, but probably possible. Third, Sarah. She's got a son, Tommy, 8 years old. I've never met him because she's been hiding him, ashamed of being a single mother. Whatever happens, that boy needs protection. Catherine studied me. You're trying to save the same people who are robbing you. They're still my children. Somewhere under all this greed and manipulation, they're still the kids I taught to ride bikes. And Emily, what about her? I thought of the woman pretending to be my daughter, kissing my forehead like it meant something. Emily Chen made her choice the day she put on that white coat and pretended to be a doctor. But I want to know why. What turned her into this? Catherine slid a file across the table. I opened it to find Emily Chen's real history. Born in Taipei, moved to America at 15. Parents died in a car accident at 17. Bounced through foster care. Scholarship to community college, then nothing. A string of arrests for fraud, identity theft, elder abuse. She targets men your age, Catherine said quietly. Men who remind her of the father she lost, or the father who never saved her. My phone buzzed. Sophia. Robert, you need to see this. Emily and James have plane tickets booked, one way to Mexico, leaving in 10 days. 10 days, that was my timeline. Catherine, they're planning to run. We have 10 days. Then we better get started. Can you wear a wire tomorrow? I'll do better than that. There's a family dinner planned for Sunday. All three of my kids, plus Emily and James. They want to discuss putting me in Desert Palms. That's in 5 days. Then we have 5 days to prepare. But I want something else from you. What? I want to know who's really behind this, because my son David might be greedy, but he's not smart enough to hide 48 million for 10 years. Someone's been teaching him. Catherine's expression darkened. We think there's someone else. Someone who's been planning this since Eleanor got sick. Who? That's what we're trying to figure out. But whoever it is, they've been playing a very long game. My brother Marcus walked into the cafe then, looking older but still carrying himself like the Marine he'd once been. He saw me and stopped, 20 years of hurt and anger crossing his face. Bobby, Mark, he sat down next to Catherine, never taking his eyes off me. So, your kids are trying to kill you, and now you need your little brother? I need family I can trust, family you haven't spoken to in 20 years. We both know why that happened. He sighed, the anger draining away. Eleanor, it was always about Eleanor. You were right about David, I admitted. You said he was trouble from the start. Being right doesn't make it hurt less, Bobby. Catherine cleared her throat. Gentlemen, we have 5 days. Can we focus? Marcus turned to her. What do you need from me? Everything you remember about David's involvement with Eleanor's father's estate. Marcus laughed bitterly. Oh, I remember everything, including the family lawyer who suddenly disappeared after the will was read. I sat up straighter. Harold Brennan. He handled the estate then vanished. Not vanished, Marcus said. Murdered. They found his body 3 years ago in Mexico. Tortured before he died. The pieces clicked into place. James Wong. Mexico. Cartel connections. My God, I breathed. This has been planned for 7 years. Catherine's phone rang. She answered, her face going pale. When? Is she okay? She hung up, looked at me with frightened eyes. Mr. Mitchell, there's been an incident at Peaceful Minds. Eleanor, someone tried to inject her with potassium chloride. She's alive, but barely. The room spun. My Eleanor. While I'd been playing games, they'd gone after her. That's it, I said, standing. No more games. No more waiting. Robert, if you blow your cover now. They tried to kill my wife, Catherine. The real one. The one who actually loved me. Marcus grabbed my arm. Bobby, think. If you react now, emotionally, they win. You want to save Eleanor. Play smart. He was right. The decorated Marine who'd warned me about David 30 years ago was right again. I sat back down, hands clenched. Fine, but we do this my way now. I'm not just going to wear a wire. I'm going to destroy them. How? I smiled then, the kind of smile that had helped me build a construction empire from nothing, by giving them exactly what they want, and then taking everything. Monday morning, they came with reinforcements. Not just David and Emily this time, but a whole team designed to break me. Dr. Harrison Kemp, psychiatrist, thin as a needle with eyes that never blinked enough. Behind him, 2 orderlies who looked more like bouncers. Emily wore her fake doctor coat, clipboard ready. David had traded his usual suit for casual clothes, trying to look like the concerned son. Mr. Mitchell, Dr. Kemp began, setting up a portable computer on my kitchen table. I'm here to conduct a cognitive evaluation. I didn't request any evaluation. Your daughter, Dr. Mitchell, has concerns about your recent behavior. Emily stepped forward, and for the first time I saw Sarah's kids with her, my grandchildren. Lily, 16, looking uncomfortable. James Jr., 14, glued to his phone. Grandpa, Lily said, clearly rehearsed, we're worried about you. Mom says you've been forgetting us. The emotional manipulation was perfect. Use the grandchildren I barely knew as weapons. Lily, sweetheart. I see, Emily interrupted. He's confused. That's not Lily, Mr. Mitchell, that's Jennifer. The girl looked confused herself. No, I'm definitely Lily. Dad gets their names mixed up constantly, David added smoothly. It's been happening for months. Dr. Kemp started his tests. Name the date, I got it right. Count backward from 100 by sevens. Easy. Then came the trick questions. Mr. Mitchell, who is the current president? I answered correctly. And who is this woman? He pointed to Emily. I hesitated, playing my part. She says she's my daughter, but you're not sure. Sometimes I have 3 children, sometimes 4. It's confusing. Emily made notes, theatrical concern on her face. But Lily, definitely Lily, watched me with sharp eyes. She knew something was off. Mr. Mitchell, Dr. Kemp continued, your family reports you've given away large sums of money to strangers. That's not? $300,000 to a fraudulent investment scheme? David pulled out bank statements. Dad, you were scammed. That's not normal judgment. The test continued for 2 hours. Every correct answer was twisted into confusion. Every hesitation became evidence of decline. When Kemp finally packed up, his diagnosis was predetermined. Moderate cognitive impairment with high risk of financial exploitation. I'm recommending immediate conservatorship. After they left, I tried calling Catherine Walsh. My phone was dead. Not broken, deactivated. The landline had no dial tone. Emily had been thorough. I walked to the front door. A medical aide sat in a car outside. Prison guards in scrubs. That's when Michael showed up. Not my son Michael, but Michael Thompson, my lawyer for 15 years. His face told me everything before he spoke. Robert, I'm sorry, they have photos, things that could ruin me. You sold me out. They knew things, Robert, about my gambling debts, about the client funds I borrowed. James Wong owns me now. He set down a folder. These are conservatorship papers. If you sign voluntarily, they'll let you stay in your house. If not, desert palms. I'm sorry, Robert, I'm so damn sorry. He left quickly, shame radiating from every step. But he'd left something else, a business card tucked under the folder. Sophia Reyes, cybersecurity. Sophia hadn't abandoned me. Tuesday brought a new nightmare. A man appeared at my door with my eyes, my jawline, my hands from 40 years ago. Hello, father. Kevin Chen, claiming to be Eleanor's son from an affair 35 years ago. He had documents, birth certificate, DNA test results, photos of Eleanor pregnant that I'd never seen. That's impossible, I said. But doubt crept in. Eleanor and I had separated briefly in 1990. She'd gone to stay with her sister for 3 months. Mom never told you, Kevin said, sitting uninvited in my living room. She was protecting your marriage, but now with her condition, someone should know the truth. David appeared in the doorway, of course he did. Kevin reached out to us weeks ago. We've been trying to figure out how to tell you. He deserves his share of the inheritance, Emily added, materializing like a ghost. Eleanor would want that. The DNA test looked real. The photos were definitely Eleanor. But something felt wrong about the timing, the coordination, the way Kevin kept glancing at James Wong, who'd somehow appeared in my hallway. I need time to process this. Of course, Kevin said, but my lawyer will be in touch. 50 million divided 4 ways is still substantial for everyone. 4 ways. David, Sarah, Michael, and now Kevin. Nothing for me, nothing for Eleanor's care. Wednesday, the financial news tightened. My bank called, except I couldn't answer because my phone was dead. David answered on my behalf. Yes, this is Robert Mitchell's son. He's having medical issues. Yes, freeze the accounts pending evaluation, thank you. Just like that, 45 years of financial independence vanished. It's for your protection, Dad, Sarah said. She'd arrived with groceries I hadn't asked for, filling my kitchen with food I was apparently too incompetent to buy myself. I need to check on Eleanor. Mom's dead, remember. The lie came so easily. This confusion is why we're worried. Thursday was the medical emergency, so obviously staged I almost admired the production. Emily collapsed during dinner, clutching her chest. My heart, Dad, call 911. I reached for the phone that didn't work. David called instead, paramedics arriving suspiciously fast. Mr. Mitchell, one said, your daughter needs surgery. These consent forms, I'm not signing anything. Dad, Emily gasped from the stretcher. Please, I could die. The paramedic leaned close. Sir, without your consent as next of kin. But I saw it. Page 3 wasn't medical consent. It was property transfer paperwork. Sign here to save your daughter's life. accidentally sign away your house. She's not my daughter. Emily's performance faltered for just a second. The paramedics exchanged glances. Sir, are you confused about your family members? And there it was. Refuse to sign, prove I'm confused. Sign, lose everything. I signed the medical consent only, drawing a line through the property transfer. Just the medical pages. Emily's miraculous recovery started immediately. By Friday, I was completely isolated. No phone, no computer, no car keys. David had taken them for safety. The medical aide outside had become two aides, working shifts. Marcus tried to visit. They turned him away. Mr. Mitchell is resting. Catherine Walsh tried calling. They told her I didn't want to speak to anyone. Even Frank from next door was told I'd become aggressive, and visitors weren't safe. I sat in my kitchen that night, looking at the walls I'd built with my own hands, now my prison. The calendar showed 5 days since I'd agreed to help the FBI. 2 days until the family dinner where I was supposed to wear a wire and get evidence. But how could I do anything when I couldn't even leave my house? They'd won. Emily and James had orchestrated the perfect trap. Every escape route blocked. Every ally turned or removed. Every asset frozen. I pulled out the one thing they hadn't found, an old flip phone hidden in my toolbox in the garage. A drug dealer's burner Frank had confiscated from his grandson and given to me as a joke. 1 bar of battery. 1 chance. I texted the only number I'd memorized. Sophia. They have me trapped. Sunday dinner is the last chance. Find Catherine. Tell her the hunter needs to become prey one more time. The message sent just as the battery died. Saturday morning, sitting at my kitchen table, I stared at the conservatorship papers Michael Thompson had left. Sign them. Accept defeat. Maybe salvage something. Don't sign. Get forced into desert palms. Lose everything anyway. Eleanor was dying in a facility I couldn't visit. My children had become strangers. My money was gone. My freedom was evaporating. For the first time since this started, I considered giving up. Then I saw it. A note tucked under my coffee maker, in Lily's handwriting. Grandpa, I know something's wrong. Mom's been acting weird. That woman isn't your daughter. I heard them talking. Uncle David owes bad people money. They're making him do this. Don't give up. Net, my granddaughter. Sarah's daughter. The only family I had left who still had a conscience. I wasn't alone after all. Tomorrow was Sunday. The family dinner. One last chance to turn the tables. The hunter had become the hunted. But even cornered prey can bite. Saturday night, 10 p.m. The guards Emily posted thought I was asleep. They didn't see me slip into the garage through the interior door, or watch me remove the panel I'd installed 40 years ago, a hidden compartment where I kept emergency cash and documents. But someone else was already there. Kevin Chen stood in my garage, holding a flashlight, examining the same hidden panel. Don't move or I'll scream, I said. He turned slowly, hands raised, and for the first time, I saw Eleanor's eyes looking back at me. Not my eyes, hers. Mr. Mitchell, please. I'm not here to rob you. I'm here to help. You're working with Emily. No. He pulled out a medical badge. Johns Hopkins Hospital. I'm Dr. Kevin Chen, Chief of Neurology, and everything I told you was a lie, except being Eleanor's son. My legs nearly gave out. Eleanor had an affair 35 years ago with Michael Thompson. Michael Thompson, my lawyer, my friend for 15 years, the man who just betrayed me. He doesn't know, Kevin continued quickly. Mom never told him, never told anyone except her sister Margaret, and Margaret took it to her grave, but she left something for you. He handed me a safety deposit box key. Bank of America, downtown Phoenix, box 447. Margaret knew this day would come. How did you? I've been watching Emily Chen for 5 years. She found me first, tried to recruit me for this con, showed me the trust documents, the 50 million, promised me a cut if I played the long-lost son. But you're really Eleanor's son. Yes, but not yours. And I'm not here for money. I'm here because that woman pretending to be your daughter is planning to kill you tomorrow night. My blood went cold. The family dinner, potassium chloride in your wine, makes it look like a heart attack. She already tested it on a patient in Portland. Got away with it. Why should I trust you? He pulled out his phone, showed me emails. 5 years of correspondence between Emily and James Wong, planning every detail. My name appeared hundreds of times, but more chilling were the other names. Victims in Portland, Denver, Austin. Elderly men, all dead within a year of Emily entering their lives. She's killed 7 men, Mr. Mitchell. You're number 8. The garage door suddenly opened. Marcus, my brother, stood there with a metal box. Bobby, what are you doing out? He saw Kevin, reached for his concealed carry. Mark, wait, he's on our side. Who the hell is he? It's complicated. What's in the box? Marcus set it down carefully. Margaret's papers flew in from Hong Kong where she kept them in a vault. Bobby, there's something you need to know about Michael Thompson. He's Kevin's father. Marcus's jaw dropped. You knew. Just found out. What else? Marcus opened the box, pulled out photographs. Michael Thompson with Eleanor, 1990. The 3 months we were separated. The timeline matched perfectly. But there's more, Marcus said. Emily Chen isn't who she claims to be either. Another photograph. Emily, maybe 18 years old, in a pre-med program at USC. She was brilliant, Marcus explained. Top of her class until she got caught stealing cadavers and selling them to underground medical research. Expelled, arrested, but charges dropped when key evidence disappeared. How long have you known? 2 days. I hired investigators in Hong Kong. They track financial criminals across Asia. Emily and James have been partners for 12 years. They've stolen approximately 200 million from elderly victims across 4 countries. My phone, the guards had given it back. Thinking it was dead, suddenly buzzed. Sophia had somehow reactivated it remotely. Her text was brief. Check your email, now. I opened it to find a video file. Security footage from Desert Palms Senior Resort, dated yesterday. James Wong meeting with a man I recognized. Dmitry Volkov, Russian Mafia. They were discussing the Mitchell situation. After the old man signs papers tomorrow, we eliminate the witnesses, James said clearly. Emily, the real children. Everyone who could contest the will. My children. David, Sarah, Michael. James planned to kill them too. Another email from Sophia. This one with a photograph that made no sense. Her maybe age 5, sitting on the lap of Viktor Petrov, the Russian oligarch who'd become one of the richest men in the world. Her message explained, Robert, you saved my father's life in 1987 when his car broke down in the Arizona desert. You drove him to safety, refused reward. He never forgot. I'm not just a hacker. I'm Anna Petrova. My father owns 40% of Gazprom, and he's very interested in meeting James Wong. The implications were staggering, but before I could process it, Catherine Walsh climbed through my garage window. Jesus, Robert, took you long enough to check email. We've been trying to reach you for hours. How did you? Your granddaughter Lily. Smart girl. She's been feeding us information, taking photos of documents Emily left out. Lily's helping? She loves you, Robert. Real love, not the fake kind Emily's selling. Now we have a problem. Tomorrow's dinner is a trap, but it's also our only chance. James has a private jet ready, flying to Mexico at midnight Sunday. We need confessions before then. Kevin stepped forward. I can help. Emily doesn't know I'm here. She thinks I'm still in Baltimore. If I show up at dinner, it'll throw off their plan. Too dangerous, Catherine said. I'm chief of neurology at Johns Hopkins, Kevin replied calmly. I've also been documenting Emily's murders for 5 years. I have enough evidence to bury her, but we need her confession about this specific conspiracy. Marcus pulled out another document from Margaret's box. There's one more thing. This is Eleanor's real will, notarized, dated last year during a lucid moment. She leaves everything to Robert, with specific instructions that David, Sarah, and Michael get nothing if they've proven themselves unworthy through actions against their father. She knew. The facility called her sister Margaret about suspicious visitors, David asking questions about Eleanor's mental state, trying to get power of attorney. Eleanor might have Alzheimer's, but she had moments of perfect clarity. She knew her children were circling like vultures. My wife, my brilliant wife, protecting me even as her mind dissolved. So what's the plan? I asked. Catherine smiled grimly. We're going to give them exactly what they want, a confused old man who signs everything. But every document will be tagged with invisible FBI markers. Every conversation will be recorded. And when they make their move, we take them all down, Kevin finished. What about my children, my real children? David owes the Sinaloa cartel $5 million, Catherine said quietly. If we don't arrest him, he's dead within a month anyway. Sarah's being blackmailed by her ex-husband with revenge porn. Michael's in deep with Russian mob over drug debts. Prison might be the safest place for them. The words hit like punches. My children weren't just greedy. They were desperate, trapped, making devil's bargains to survive. There might be another way, Sophia Anna texted. My father has influence with all 3 organizations. He could make their debts disappear for a price. What price? They work for him. Legitimate businesses only. Far from you forever. It's exile or death. Exile. Never seeing my children again but knowing they lived. There's something else, Kevin said quietly. Your wife, Eleanor. The potassium chloride they tried to give her? I intercepted it, switched it with saline. She's safe, but they don't know that. They think she's dying. You saved her? I'm a neurologist, Mr. Mitchell. I've been treating Alzheimer's patients for 15 years. I couldn't save my mother from this disease, but I could protect her from those who would exploit it. This man. This stranger who shared Eleanor's eyes but not my blood had done more for my family than my own children. "Tomorrow's dinner," I said finally. "We go ahead with the plan. But nobody dies, not even Emily." "Robert," Catherine started. "Nobody dies," I repeated. "We're better than them, we have to be." Marcus gripped my shoulder. "You always were too soft, Bobby." "No," I said, looking at each unlikely ally in my garage. "My brother Eleanor's secret son, a Russian oligarch's daughter, an FBI agent. I'm just still trying to be the man Eleanor married, the one who saves people in the desert, even when they don't deserve it." Tomorrow would bring the final confrontation, but tonight, for the first time in months, I wasn't alone. The prey had found his pack, and tomorrow we would hunt. Sunday evening, December 24th. Christmas Eve. Emily had orchestrated her final performance in my living room, transforming it into a stage for my destruction. Dr. Harrison Kemp sat ready with his diagnosis. Two lawyers from Desert Palms flanked the coffee table covered in documents. Emily wore her white coat like armor, stethoscope around her neck, the perfect doctor-daughter concerned about her failing father. David, Sarah, and Michael clustered on my couch, their faces masks of practiced worry. Sarah's children, Lily and James Jr., had been strategically placed where I could see them. Emotional leverage. "Dad," Emily began, her voice dripping with false compassion, "we're all here because we love you. This intervention is to help you understand you need professional care." I sat in my recliner, playing the confused elderly man one last time. "I don't understand. It's Christmas Eve. Where's the tree? Dad, you threw out the tree yesterday. Don't you remember?" David lied smoothly. "Mr. Mitchell," Dr. Kemp interjected, "your cognitive decline has accelerated. These documents will ensure your assets are protected while you receive care at Desert Palms. 8 p.m. Right on schedule." The doorbell rang. "I'll get it," Emily said, but Kevin was already walking in, wearing his Johns Hopkins white coat, his chief of neurology badge prominent. "Good evening. I'm Dr. Kevin Chen, here for the second opinion consultation Mr. Mitchell requested." Emily's face went white. "There must be a mistake. I didn't request." "Actually, I did," I said, suddenly clear-voiced. "My Medicare requires a second opinion for any institutionalization." Kevin walked directly to Emily. "Dr. Mitchell, could I see your medical license? I can't seem to find you in the Maryland medical database. It's from California. I checked California too. Also New York, Texas, and Florida. You're not licensed anywhere, are you, Emily Chen?" 8:15. The front door exploded open. FBI agents flooded in, weapons drawn. "James Wong, you're under arrest for money laundering, racketeering, and conspiracy to commit murder." James tried to run. He made it 3 feet before Catherine Walsh personally tackled him, driving him into my hardwood floor with savage satisfaction. "That's for trying to kill Eleanor, you son of a bitch." 8:30. The big screen TV I'd bought for football suddenly came alive. Sofia, Anna Petrova, appeared via video link from Moscow. "Hello, everyone. I thought you'd enjoy some reading material." The screen filled with emails. 10 years of conspiracy between Emily and James. Every victim named. Every dollar stolen. Every life destroyed. Sarah gasped. "Oh my God. Emily, you killed those men?" "It's fake," Emily screamed. "It's all fake." "Really?" Anna smiled. "Then you won't mind if I play the audio from your planning sessions?" Emily's voice filled the room from a recording. "The old man's worth 50 million. Once he signs potassium chloride in his wine. Clean, quick, looks like cardiac arrest." My granddaughter Lily grabbed her little brother, pulling him away from Emily. "You're a monster." 8:45. Marcus walked in with a manila folder. "Emily, before you go to federal prison, I thought you should know I bought your student loan debt. All $2 million of it. Funny thing, checking the paperwork. Your undergraduate transcripts? Forged. Your pre-med admission? Based on a fake identity. That makes the loans fraud. That's another 10 years minimum." Emily's composure finally cracked. She fell to her knees in front of me, tears streaming, real ones this time. "Please, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it to go this far." I looked down at this woman who'd kissed my forehead. Called me dad, planned my murder. You had 300 chances to stop. That's how many $1,000 you stole. Each one was a choice. "But you don't understand. My parents died. I had nothing. Nobody helped me." "That's where you're wrong," Kevin said quietly. "Robert helped you. He gave you trust, money, and love, even though you weren't his real daughter. You could have just asked for help honestly. He would have given it." 9 p.m. Michael Thompson was dragged in by agents, Kevin standing as witness. "He knew about Eleanor's affair," Kevin stated. "He's been blackmailing her sister Margaret's estate for 20 years, using me as leverage without knowing I was his son." Thompson looked at Kevin, recognition dawning. You have my eyes, oh God, you're nobody to you. My father was the man who raised me after Mom died, a teacher who adopted an orphan. You're just DNA. 9:15. Catherine read Emily her rights while my real children watched in horror. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Dad, David whispered, we didn't know. I swear we didn't know she was. You knew you were stealing from me, I cut him off. You all did. You just didn't know Emily was stealing more. 6 months later, the Chinatown condo was smaller than my old house, but it had what I needed. One bedroom, a kitchen where I cooked pho with Kevin every Sunday, and walls covered with photographs, the real kind, not the staged ones from before. Emily got 7 years federal, 5 years state to run concurrently. Her letters came weekly, each one more desperate than the last. I read them all, responded to none except one, a Chinese New Year card with 4 words, Happy New Year, Robert. James Wong got 25 to life. The cartel connections sealed his fate. His properties were seized. The victims' families compensated. My biological children, David fled to Europe, working for Anna Petrova's father in legitimate energy companies. His debts forgiven, his exile permanent. Sarah moved to Seattle, working as a medical receptionist. Starting over, she sent photos of Tommy sometimes. Michael entered rehab, then disappeared into witness protection after testifying against the Russian mob. I never saw any of them again. My choice, not theirs. But I wasn't alone. Kevin visited weekly, bringing his wife Jennifer and their twin daughters. We didn't talk about Eleanor much. She'd passed peacefully 3 months after the arrests. One last lucid moment where she smiled and said, I knew you'd protect our family. Linda, the neighbor who'd warned me, became more than a friend. At 72, she taught me that love doesn't have an expiration date. Anna Petrova flew in monthly from Moscow, the daughter I'd never known I'd saved when I helped her father in the desert 35 years ago. She managed the Mitchell Foundation, $30 million for immigrant students, the children whose parents died chasing American dreams, like Emily's had. Lunar New Year, Year of the Dragon. Our dinner table groaned under the weight of food. Kevin carved the duck while his daughters, my grandnieces in every way that mattered, hung red envelopes on the fake fireplace. Marcus poured wine, tested for potassium chloride, our dark running joke. Anna joined by video from Moscow. Time zones be damned. Frank from next door brought homemade wontons. To family, Kevin raised his glass. The kind you choose. To Margaret, I added, nodding to her photo on our ancestor altar, a Chinese tradition Kevin taught me, who kept secrets to protect love. To Eleanor, Linda said softly, who loved fiercely even when her mind couldn't remember why. We drank, and I thought about Emily in federal prison, probably eating processed turkey and instant mashed potatoes. Part of me pitied her. Most of me didn't. The doorbell rang. Lily stood there, 18 now, Stanford acceptance letter in hand. Grandpa Robert, the Mitchell Foundation scholarship, thank you. I hadn't seen her since the arrest. Sarah had forbidden it, but Lily had applied anyway. Essay topic, How My Grandfather Taught Me That Integrity Matters More Than Inheritance. You earned it yourself, I told her. She hugged me then, fierce and real. Mom's wrong about everything. You're the only real family I have. Behind her stood Tommy, 11 now, holding a dragon he'd painted. For your New Year, he said shyly. Mom doesn't know we're here. I looked at these children, my actual blood, who'd chosen love over money, truth over lies. Come in, I said. There's always room for real family. As we sat for dinner, Kevin, Linda, Marcus, Anna on screen, Frank, Lily, Tommy, and me, I realized something beautiful. I'd lost $300,000 and 3 biological children, but I'd gained a fortune in chosen family and saved hundreds of immigrant kids' futures through the foundation. The camera in my mind pulled back, showing our small celebration against the Phoenix skyline. Then further, showing Emily in her cell reading her 1,000th rejection, James in maximum security, David in his Moscow exile, Sarah in her Seattle isolation, Michael in his hidden new life. Justice isn't always what we expect. Sometimes it comes from unexpected places, from secret sons who choose honor, from neighbors who become lovers, from Russian oligarchs' daughters repaying ancient debts. Family, I said to the table, to the camera, to everyone listening, isn't about blood. It's about who shows up when the potassium chloride is in your wine and chooses to switch it with saline. It's about who stands with you when everyone else is trying to steal your tomorrow. It's about choosing to love with your eyes wide open. The dragon on the wall seemed to nod in agreement. Some stories end with weddings or funerals. Mine ends with a Lunar New Year dinner, surrounded by the family I chose and who chose me back. the retirement fund disappeared. But what I found instead was priceless.